In a small town nestled between rolling green hills, there lived a young man named Arian. He was intelligent, kind-hearted, and admired by many, yet there was one thing he could never muster the courage for: expressing his love. Arian's heart had been secretly devoted to a girl named Aisha for years. Aisha was the kind of person who could light up any room with her presence. She was graceful, intelligent, and had an infectious smile that made hearts flutter. Though she had many friends, she always felt a deep, unexplainable connection whenever Arian was around. Arian had known Aisha since childhood. They grew up together, sharing countless memories, but his love for her had always remained buried deep within his heart. Every time he thought of confessing, fear held him back. What if she didn't feel the same? What if their friendship suffered because of his confession? So, Arian chose silence. Chapter 2: The Blooming of Love. Seasons changed, and so did time, but Arian's love remained the same. Whenever he saw Aisha, his heart raced, yet his lips refused to utter the words he longed to say. Little did he know that Aisha, too, had been experiencing the same emotions. Aisha often found herself seeking Arian's presence. She would steal glances at him when he wasn't looking and secretly wished he would one day say the words her heart longed to hear. However, like Arian, she feared ruining their bond. Despite their unspoken love, their actions betrayed their hearts. Arian always noticed the little things about Aisha: the way she played with her hair when she was nervous, the way she scrunched her nose when she was annoyed, and the way her laughter made everything seem perfect. On the other hand, Aisha admired Arian's thoughtfulness, the way he always helped others selflessly, and how his eyes held unspoken stories whenever he looked at her. Chapter 3: A Confession Left Unsaid. One evening, under the golden hues of the setting sun, they sat side by side on an old wooden bench near the town's lake. The silence between them wasn't uncomfortable, rather, it was filled with emotions neither dared to voice. Arian, Aisha finally spoke, breaking the silence. Yes. If someone had feelings for their best friend but was afraid of losing them, what should they do? She asked, her voice soft yet trembling. Arian's heart pounded in his chest. Was she talking about him? He wanted to tell her, desperately. His heart screamed for him to confess, but his fear silenced him once again. I think they should wait for the right moment, Arian replied, looking at the rippling water. Aisha smiled, though disappointment flickered in her eyes. She had hoped he would say something more, something that would confirm the feelings she had sensed between them. And just like that, the moment passed. Chapter 4: Love Finds Its Way. Days turned into weeks, and the distance between them grew. Aisha started avoiding Arian, believing that he didn't share the same feelings. Arian, on the other hand, felt lost. He regretted his hesitation, knowing that his silence had pushed her away. One day, Arian decided he couldn't hold back anymore. He wrote a letter, poured his heart onto paper, expressing everything he had bottled up for years. With trembling hands, he slipped it into Aisha's bag, hoping she would read it. That night, Aisha found the letter. As she read his heartfelt words, tears welled up in her eyes. She had waited so long for this confession, and now that it had finally come, her heart felt light. The next day, Aisha didn't say a word. Instead, she walked up to Arian, took his hand in hers, and smiled, a smile that spoke volumes. Arian understood. No words were needed anymore. Their love had always been there, unspoken yet undeniable. And finally, they embraced the truth that had lived in their hearts for so long. Chapter 5: A Love That Lasted. Years passed, but their love only grew stronger. They laughed together, dreamed together, and built a life where love was never left unspoken again. Arian and Aisha proved that sometimes, even silence can speak volumes, but when the heart truly calls, love will always find its way. And so, their story became a timeless tale of love, patience, and the courage to finally say what the heart has always known.